Motivational Mondays, and yes, I'm doing this from my bed today because the day was just out of hand and I still had to get it done. But I wanted to share something with you all because my pastor had spoke on it on Sunday, and it just made everything that I say, like a lot of the things that I've been telling you all, it just brought it in for me. And I feel like I got an eyelash. Oh, sorry. But I want to tell you that the struggles and the tests and the trials that you go through, God chose them for you. He chose all of that because he knew that you would make it through. So I know that we look at things sometimes like, I can't handle this, but you can. And that's the only reason that God gave it to you, is because you can. He knew you'd be able to pass these tests. So just think about it like this. God is saying he's giving us his strength for our issues, whatever the issue may be. So say you're trying to battle addiction. He knows that that's going to be your trouble and your struggle, but he's giving you the strength from him to overcome that issue, which is why those issues seem to be nothing, and after it's all done, it's like, yeah, I made it through because God helped me, because he gave those to me. He gave me that struggle because he knew that I'd overcome, because he worked with me the whole time, So in my personal life, I was given the struggle of overcoming sexual abuse. And I made it through. And I made it through not because I wanted to make it through, but because God wanted me to make it through. And he knew that I would, because internally I just had that fire from him. Because even as a child, like, it's crazy. I think I got bit by a mosquito on my ankle. I'm sorry, y'all. But even as a child, like, when those things were happening to me, I just knew that it would get better. Something in me always was like, it's all right. It ain't gonna be like this all the time. And yeah, I had times where I couldn't understand and I was frustrated or I was scared. But for some reason, at the end of the day, I always felt like it was gonna get better. And as an adult, I'm glad I had that in me, because if I didn't have that, I may have went a whole nother way. If I never thought it would get better, and if I never thought that, because I grew up with a Christian family. My mom was in the military, so we didn't ever have the same church all the time. So every 3 or 4 years, we did have a consistent church home. So it was put in me, and I'm glad. And that's the thing. You got to make sure your children have this desire. You got to make sure that they have that knowledge of God and what he does, so they can grow up to be adults and know who he is, And I'm glad for what my mom had already put in me, that piece of a foundation that she started with me, because I think it would have been harder for me to just, it's one of those things. You just grateful for what you got, because you just know that if you hadn't had that little piece of something, I could have just went a whole nother way. Like, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but I could have just went a whole nother way had I not had him. Because there are some women who struggle with sexual abuse, and the way that they deal with it is promiscuity, or, drugs or alcohol, even at early ages, or prostitution. Like, it could have went a whole nother way. But what mine resulted in was me being a loner, me being a prude, I guess is what you want to call it, because I would not share myself with no one, because it felt like someone was already taking advantage of me. So I thank God, even in that was my coping mechanism, because that saved me for my husband. Like, it just doesn't, it's, when you look at things, you got to look always at the bright side, because even though all that crap was in there was so much that came out of it. There was so much that came out of it. Y'all just don't know. Yeah. But just know, God chose you for your struggles. So you could be the one to overcome it because he knew you was going to pass that test. So your strength is coming from God to get through those issues. Just know that. All you got to do is pray. There was something else I wanted to say. I know I wrote. Let me see. That was it. And I don't like my Motivation Mondays have been a little bit short, but they've been straight to the point, and I guess that's why. But okay, I can tell you what we were referencing. Oh, I don't know I think it. I'll try to find it, but just read about the woman with the issue of blood, and that's what brought about this, because we were talking about the woman with the issue of blood and how she had this issue, but she had the strength enough to go through it for 12 years. But then she also had the faith enough to think that if she could only touch an article, the pieces of his clothing, that she was going to be healed. And that faith and all that is what brought her through. Just think like that. Because it's just, can you imagine for 12 years? For 12 years, you have an issue. And you don't see an end, but you know that it's going to end someday. And then God comes into town, and you're like, oh, all I need to do is get close enough. If I could brush up against his clothing, I'm going to be fine, and everything's going to be all right. That is some serious faith. That is some serious faith. And that is some serious strength. But just know that that's where we were coming from on Sunday, and that's where that story there is what brought about all of that, all those revelations right there. So you can do that. You can do it. I promise you can. And the issues that seem like this big, they're really only this big. They're only magnified because you're in it. They're only magnified because you're in it. So trust God has you, because he didn't give that to you for no reason. Okay? I love y'all. See y'all tomorrow.